Good morning, survivors, and happy Friday. Today we're going to talk about taking responsibility for your own life, which is something that a lot of us haven't had the opportunity to do very much if we've been abused by narcissists. But as it turns out, when you can take responsibility for your own life, you can change it. All right, so let's get started.
My name is Angie Atkinson, and this channel is all about teaching you what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want.
But first, do you have your coffee? This cup comes from my collection of my kitchen coffee cups. It goes with my my dishes set. I have this dishes set from Corel. It's called Watercolors, and the reason I chose it is because the dishes are all different, but they're coordinating, and I just like them. So anyway, let's get started. So there's a certain amount of comfort that comes with having an excuse for the challenges in your life, right? So whether it's the narcissist, or it's poor parenting, or it's a boss that hates you, or it's, the universe in general, sometimes it feels good to have an excuse, right? But that excuse has a cost to it, and putting the blame on someone else or something else in your life, putting the responsibility somewhere else, actually can take away your power to change your situation. Is everything your fault? Well, of course not. Some things you don't have any control over. But it is your responsibility, and if you don't fix it, who will? So even if you had horrible parents, there's nothing that you can do about it now, or nothing they can do about it now. Even if you've had a terrible relationship, there's nothing that can change about it at this point. You can't change the past, right? So choose to see everything in your life as your responsibility. Choose to start making changes if that's what you want. Eventually, you're going to enjoy the power that comes with it. Trust me, it's a very powerful feeling. So you can choose to see everything in your life as your responsibility, and you can start making changes. How about that? Now, eventually, like I said, you're going to enjoy the power. So how do you accept responsibility of your life? How do you take control of your life, right? Well, start here. Number one, you become aware of how you have contributed to the challenges in your life. So maybe you made poor decisions sometimes, or maybe you failed to take action sometimes. But if you look at the least satisfying parts of your life and you figure out how you had something to do with creating them, then you can also look at the great parts of your life and give yourself a little credit too. How about that? Number two, you should work on building your self-esteem. So the more self-esteem you've got, the easier it is for you to deal with your life's challenges. So if you've been avoiding responsibility, well, your self-esteem has probably been suffering, my friend. And taking responsibility is just going to help you build that up again, okay? So if you find that taking responsibility builds self-esteem, well, of course it does, because they go hand in hand, my friend. So my suggestion to you is to remember all of the wonderful things that you have accomplished in the past, and, imagine how great you're going to feel when you turn your life around. It's a beautiful thing. Number three, you have to remember that some things are not within your power to change. So I tell you all the time, don't focus on what you can't control. Okay, so for example, you can't make your boss like you. You can't make your narcissist necessarily be nice to you, but you can gray rock them to death. You can find another job if you need to. You can't make your spouse stop drinking, unfortunately, if that was the issue. Or, you can't make your spouse stop cheating if that's the issue. It's not your fault. But you can demand that they seek help, and you can choose to leave if they don't comply. In the end, you can only control yourself, is what I'm trying to say. So you have to avoid focusing on what's outside of that. And I know that seems really difficult, but trust me, it's worth it. Only focus on what you can control, not what you can't. Number four, try taking responsibility for the little things. What do I mean? Well, of course, the big things are more exciting, but the little things are important too. So not taking care of the little things often leads to big things, right? So take responsibility for the everyday tasks and just deal with it. Things that you face on a regular basis. Family. Number five, and this is one of my favorites, be the best version of yourself. So what do I mean by that? Well, hold yourself to a higher standard than other people might expect of you. And I don't mean the narcissist in this case necessarily, unless the narcissist is consistently underestimating you. But it's the ultimate way to take control, because you are accepting your own level of responsibility. And because the best version of yourself means doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not, but also doing what feels right to you. Okay. Number 6, avoid blaming yourself. So taking responsibility and taking the blame are two different things. Okay. Does it matter who's to blame? Not usually. If you're taking care of business, it doesn't really matter if it's your fault or not. The fact is that blaming yourself makes you far less effective. All right. Don't forget. Number 7, expect to be uncomfortable. So taking responsibility is the opposite of avoiding it, right? So why did you avoid responsibility? Well, because it's more comfortable than being responsible sometimes. It really is. Of course it is. Take comfort in the fact that discomfort is natural, that it will provide significant rewards, and understand that even the most ultra successful people are going to deal with more or less discomfort than the average person, probably more in some cases. The fact is that sometimes change is uncomfortable, but when we can make it in love and in self-fulfillment and in an effort to make our lives better, it's worth the discomfort, my friend, trust me. It's natural to avoid responsibility whenever possible. It's a human instinct. Accepting responsibility means more work. It means, more stuff in the time being. But as you work forward in your life, it can also mean, less work down the road. And, handling your challenges and your issues today, it makes sure that they don't grow into bigger ones later, which is a beautiful thing. So remember that failing to take responsibility, it's going to come with a really heavy cost. Okay. So if you feel like you lack the ability to change the course of your life, then you do. And you lose respect for yourself, and you increase your likelihood of suffering from depression and lots of other issues. Okay. So just remember that right now it's time for you to take responsibility for your life and regain the control that's so important for you. Okay. Life doesn't have to happen to you. You can happen to life. All right. Give it a shot, my friends. It works. All right. I'm going to wrap up for today. I've got all these things to do. Today we're walking Sophie to school again, so should be a good one. You guys have a wonderful day. I will see you soon. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. See you soon.
It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body. Take care of your soul. Nurture the real you and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot. Take it now. And the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.